And welcome back to our special live coverage of the Republican National Convention. I'm Miranda Kahn. As we await Donald Trump's acceptance speech, here's a little preview of what we can expect. Today, Trump and his daughter Ivanka, who will introduce her father on the fourth and final night of the convention, went to the Quicken Loans Arena for final preps during his practice round, while Trump took time to have a little fun with the media standing close by.
I love the media. They're so honest. They're such honorable people. It's about time I said that.
I don't know if we're going to hear that tonight, but Trump is expected to give his speech shortly after 10 o'clock tonight, so be sure to keep it right here on Newsmax TV. Now, when Trump does formally accept the Republican presidential nomination, history will be made, but Trump also made history today for another reason. Today, Trump became the first candidate to buy a full day of advertising on Twitter. Now, according to USA Today, the cost can be well into the high six figures. Basically, the idea is to help get those hashtags trending. Now, this is one of them, hashtag Get Your Trump Gear. And while it may have seemed like a good idea at the time, and maybe in the end it will pay off, it does have some drawbacks. Unfortunately for the Trump camp, most of the posts here were against him rather than for him. As you just saw, people tweeting images of garbage, miniature gloves, and there's that polo shirt made in Bangladesh. But as Trump has said before, maybe there is no such thing as bad publicity. Jamie.
Well, what we have seen now is when you go to social media,
right.
And it used to be somebody would put out an ad on television and then they'd feverishly work to get a response. But now it's instantaneous. You go find an image and you got instant rejoinder, something to keep in mind. So,
and he saved lots of money. He hasn't spent anywhere near what the Hillary campaign spent.
And you look at what Hillary spent in Ohio, and right now they're dead even. Very interesting. MK, thanks, and stay right here because we're going to have a little conversation now as we welcome back in from our Newsmax TV newsroom the managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog, Javier Manjarres. And folks, after Ted Cruz delivered his now infamous speech last night, a gentleman who joined us earlier to talk about that speech and his own speech, Speaker Newt Gingrich did his best rhetorically to take those lemons and make lemonade. Here it is again.
Now, I think you misunderstood one paragraph that Ted Cruz, who is a superb orator, said. And I just want to point it out to you. Ted Cruz said, you can vote your conscience for anyone who will uphold the Constitution. In this election, there is only one candidate who will uphold the Constitution.
And with us earlier tonight, in our first hour, Newt said the Trump people came to him and said, hey, look, Ted is really kind of going off here. And so he came up with that notion, and it seemed to work pretty well. Javier Manjarres, as a political consultant type, this ability to have a flexible response, I guess the Trump campaign was fortuitous that following Ted Cruz, there was Newt Gingrich waiting in the wings last night.
Yeah, Newt's great. I mean, if anyone can speak to this, is Newt Gingrich. I mean, he's run for, like you have run for Congress. You guys know how to spin things. He spun it pretty well in Donald Trump's favor. Like you said, he made lemonade out of lemons. And I think he saved the day for the most part for Trump. But again, this was a win-win, like we said earlier, for Donald Trump, regardless of what Cruz would have said. Donald Trump is still came out on top, and he's gonna social media is gonna be a buzz tonight with him, regardless of how much money he spent on with the Twitter advertising. But I think this is gonna be good. It's gonna play well for Trump tonight and moving forward in the next week or so.
Well, instead of Twitter for right now, we're going to go to the telephones at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629. Out to Durango, Colorado. Lisa is on the line. Hiya, Lisa.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great, thanks. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I am a registered Democrat, but unfortunately I'm having a hard time supporting Hillary Clinton. What I want to know is I am a stay-at-home mom, and I went to college. I got my bachelor's degree, and now I am $82,000 in debt. I want to know if Donald Trump is planning to do anything for millennials like myself who are now in extreme debt just for wanting to better their lives and the lives of our families. And also, I want to know what he plans on doing with bettering the building of the infrastructure of the United States. My husband is in traffic control, and if he is planning on continuing to support these vital jobs across the nation.
Well, let's take the second point first. And MK, I do want you to comment on what Lisa was laying out in terms of student loans.
82,000. Wow.
Yeah.
You want a bailout?
Well, no, here's let's go
That's
to the work first. Let's go to infrastructure. It was mentioned specifically last night, Lisa, that the Trump plan to put people to work. Not only do you have that fence, Mexico may pay for it, but Americans will be building it. Talk about a huge public works project. But look, infrastructure is one of these issues where it's not Republican or Democrat. It's the fact that we have an aging infrastructure. Trump is a builder. So he has a specific plan. In fact, Newt Gingrich referenced it last night. But the whole notion of student loans, Miranda
It's a huge problem. I mean, millennials are living at home with their parents for much longer than they ever anticipated. I mean, debt now, people are so into 82,000.
Well, here,
I mean,
and this is the
ridiculous.
thing.
I wanted to ask her, though, why she's not voting for Hillary.
Hey, guys, she
know?
chose to go to school and incur that debt. I'm not going to bail her out. I don't think Donald Trump is going to either.
Well, here's the thing about college, and here's what you have to understand.
I get it.
We've
Well,
talked about this before.
What has happened is that there is a bubble in terms of inflation and what has happened with colleges. And we used to talk about the military-industrial complex, but right now there is a government academia complex where the money gets pumped in, where the tuition rates go up, and where you don't see any relationship in terms of the money for tuition in terms of the return on a degree. So that's the problem. I think your point is well taken, Javi.
But what
I don't
degree are
want
they
to bail
going
out.
for? Are they trying to be like Greek philosophers, or what are they going to go to school for?
No,
I mean,
but Javier, I understand what you're saying, but I think the problem, and I think the point that JD is trying to make is that you keep trying to pay off that debt, and that debt never goes away, that the system itself is flawed.
Well, and let's understand the first thing, and if Lisa is with us, I don't know if she can, but I know she's watching us. Remember, and I'm sorry to say that she's not on the line, but remember the first act, even before Obamacare, the first thing the new crowd did was nationalize the student loan plan. Now stop and think about this, and this is to your point, Javi, the notion of taking people and rather than assistance from cradle to grave, making them accountable. You get this huge student loan and people think, and I've talked to my own kids about it, look, you don't want to get in that kind of situation, but you find yourself going, okay, if I get this degree, I can earn money, I can find my way back.
But they can't even find jobs.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
The jobs go away because you have a command and control economy. Every dollar that's taken into government is taken out of the private sector. We've seen employment drop. We've seen earnings drop. And so, meantime, the educational bubble and the government academia complex continues unfettered. We do know one answer is not the Bernie Sanders, Hillary gimmick of free college. It's going to be free.
Nothing's free.
It is not going to be free.
Are you suggesting we bail these people out because they did choose to go to school? Unfortunately for them, they can't find jobs because of this economy.
There's a more basic thing here. Rather than pointing fingers, it's not a question of, quote, giving somebody something. It's a question of improving the economy. And Trump, in terms of bringing back American jobs, and actually goes to the second point Lisa was making about infrastructure. Those jobs for her husband and their neighbors, that's going to be important to the family. And then as the economy improves and businesses and corporations say, hey, wait a minute, America has dropped its top corporate rate to 15%. Guess what? It's not in our best interest to be in Ireland or Iceland or Indonesia. We're going to come back to the United States. It will bring more jobs back.
Well, let's see if Donald Trump fulfills these promises. If he does so, I think the economy will be in better shape because he will bring jobs back and create more jobs. Yeah, and maybe do something about this ridiculous tax code. What are we, #1 in the world with the highest business tax code? 35%? if he does something with that, if it cuts that at least down to 20%, I think business will come back. If he gets all that money that's already out there, bring it back to the United States. Yeah, but again, that remains to be seen. He's accepted the nomination, but he hasn't won the presidency. So hopefully, I have faith that he'll do something like that. As far as Hillary Clinton, not so much.
Oh no, Hillary's not going to do it. No. It's more the status quo. A third term of Obama,
he will be.
And the new normal: stagnant wages, fewer jobs, and thinking the government's going to bail you out. It ain't going to happen. You got to set up the conditions that allow people to get back to work and keep more of their money in their pocket. Whereas a guy, I served on the Ways and Means Committee dealing with the tax code. Milton Friedman, the great economist, said this, and it's the basic lesson you need to know about economics. If you want less of something, tax it. And what we've done is we've basically taxed hard work and business with runaway regulation and excessive taxation, especially in terms of Obamacare and this educational bubble. Javi, thanks for your time. Stick around here. MK, as always, we know you're monitoring social media. More of your calls and comments ahead as we await Donald Trump's acceptance speech and our coverage of the Republican National Convention.